What's up, everybody? We're back at it. Yesterday was 84 degrees, and today it's about 55 degrees, so right back in the sweatshirt. Go figure. Anyways, I just got to a house. I'm putting in a storm door for them. This came from my website. They filled out a contact form on my website and found me, and I did not go and look at it first. I just asked them if they knew the size. They said they did, 36 standard size. I told them to send me a couple of pictures, which they did. There's already a storm door on the house, so I'm just replacing the one that's there. I told them you could try to repair it, but what happens a lot of times is the hinges just start to wear out over time. So the door was sagging, dragging on the ground, not closing right, and they just said, we don't want you to mess with it. We'd rather just replace the door. So I just said, okay, I'll replace the door. Like I said, I didn't go and look at it, so, you know, when you go off of pictures, there's only so much you can see. But if there's a storm door there already, most likely, it's pretty straightforward install. Take out the old one, put the new one in, and then you're done. So I'm gonna get out of my truck, get the door unloaded, and then we'll get started.
Watch out, puppy.
Okay, I got my parts all laid out. I do it the same way every single time. Never changes. Okay, got all my parts here. Bags are all labeled. But here's the thing. Read the instructions. I don't care if you've done this a million times. Just follow the instructions, just because it's going to make it easier for you. If you don't, some things will not go the way they're supposed to, because, for instance, I can tell you right off the bat, like, if you don't, like these little things here, these little extenders, if you don't put those on first before you put the rail on, you're gonna have to take the rail off. Okay, that's just one small thing. Another small thing, if I can find it, the sweep. See the rubber sweep here? If you don't put this piece of rubber sweep on before you install the actual sweep on the bottom, it's gonna be almost impossible to do, because this is not easy. This is a little hard to do because you gotta, once you start forcing it in there, sometimes it slips out of this channel. And it's just not easy once it's on the door. Trust me, I know. Okay, so just follow the instructions. It'll make the job go way easier. All right, there's a screw on here. It's called a placeholder screw. You're gonna hold this rail up first and put the screw in there. If you don't do that, if you're by yourself, there's gonna be no way for you to hold the door and then screw it on. Now you're going to take the door, flip it up so that the inside is facing up. I'll put this rubber strip on now, but I'll show you a little trick. Take a little bit of that, spray it on the end of there, it'll slide right through. Cause it's got to go in this, it's got to go in that little tiny channel with the groove of that, so it's not the easiest thing in the world. And hold it like this, straight up and down. That way the rubber doesn't get caught on the end of this. See how much easier that makes it with that little bit of WD-40? And then see, that happens all the time where it slips out of the channel, so you got to back it out up until where it came out, and then keep pulling it. You're gonna have extra left on both sides, but don't cut that yet, because let the rubber come back to size, then we'll cut it. All right, we're gonna put the hinge rail on, but I'll show you the very top of this. There's a hole right there. That's where your first screw's gotta go. Then you just screw in the self-tappers all the way down the hinge rail. This step's self-explanatory. This goes on the hinge side of the door because there's a hole on this side and a hole on the other side for the handle. So if you're not gonna use it, you gotta put that on. So depending on which side you're gonna use, the one side gets covered up with that plastic. Next, these little plastic pieces that go on the bottom of the railings, they go right here. This way, if you got a little bit of a gap, you can take this and expand it out and add to the length of that. But like I said, gotta follow the instructions, gotta put these on first before you put the door up, or you're never gonna get these on. Okay, a couple things you want to make sure you do. One, push the door tight this way and this way, and then just go down the line, put the screws in. You want to make sure the door is tight this way and this way, so it's going to sit right on the lock side. Alright, next we're going to put this drip cap on the top of the door. But one thing you want to remember is you want to make sure, read the instructions, I'm going to say that a million times in the video, make sure this end lines up with this end. That's where they want it to be. And then what you're going to do is you're going to follow this reveal and make sure it's even all the way from here to here. You want that to be even so you get a nice tight seal on the inside of the door. That looks pretty good, so that's where I'll screw it in. Make sure you keep your driver and your screws close by, because doing this alone, I always got to hold something and then put it in with the, put a screw in with the other hand and then try to hold it, so it's not the easiest thing. All right, next up we're going to put the latch side on, but remember, these little plastic things, got to put these on the bottom. And with this side, you're not going to have it tight like that because you got that gap, so you got to move it over, and you want it touching the drip cap. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to close the door and line this up so it's nice and even from the top to the bottom, and I'll show you how right now the way it sits, it's not. Okay, see that? No gap at the top, but then when you get to the bottom, see the gap starting? So that's why I put a screw in the top and then adjust that bottom side, and then you should be good. All right, we got the door mostly in. We got both railings and the drip cap on, and we got the sweep on there. And now what we'll do is we will work on drilling out the handle set. Now they say this is a LARSON easy hang, but if you're a homeowner, this is not the easiest thing to go drilling through this aluminum door. It makes you nervous, that's for sure, number one, because it's almost a $400 door, And number two, if you're not used to using big spade bits all the time, it's not the easiest thing to do. And here's the template they give you before you drill. And if you notice, see this little tab here? That's gonna match up to that tab right there, so you have no question about where it's gonna be drilled at. This way, it's in the right spot because you don't wanna hit the lock set for the main door. And if you look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're not gonna drill 6 holes. Okay, like I said, follow the instructions. It shows you right here, the top, the bottom, and the 2 second holes in here. So what I do always to make sure that I don't drill the wrong one is I just mark which ones I'm gonna drill on both sides. In the kit, it comes with that, the lock, the plate, and it actually comes with a spade bit to drill it. See, this latch is on the wrong side, so all you got to do, loosen up this screw and that screw, push this in, this flips around, the right way, there you go, and you just screw it back in. Already got the handle on, pretty simple. 2 screws go in there, put the plate on this side, handle goes on, and then you tighten with this little Allen wrench. The inside handle has a little Allen screw in there that you tighten it with. Alright, last thing we're going to do is install this strike. It goes right here, there's 2 holes there, and this so that you can adjust this forward or backwards to make the door a little looser or tighter when it's closed, so it's nice and tight up against the weather stripping. So amidst talking to you guys when I was putting this on, I put that strike upside down, and that's why I wasn't latching. So now it'll latch, but see how it's a little loose? So we'll go take the latch, move it in, and make this tighter on the weather stripping. Alright guys, I didn't record this, but I got this closers installed. They're pretty self-explanatory, but the only thing you want to remember is make sure this one isn't up too high, because if it is, it'll hit that drip cap. And also make sure it's not too low, because you can't drill into here, because this is where the screen rolls up. And then the bottom one, I always install it right in between the sweep and this, because if you install it on the sweep, you can't adjust the sweep later on. Alright guys, last up is these, which are going to cover up the screws around the outside, but you'll see there's a couple of grooves in there So you got to make sure you put it on the right way, otherwise it won't like snap in there, and then they'll fall out all the time. And then you snap it in, and once you get to the bottom, you're gonna have to trim it. So start at the top, work your way down. I got a really nice pair of shears to cut it with. Then you're all set. All right guys, that's it. I did my final adjustments on the door, and then adjusted the closer on the top and the bottom so it doesn't slam shut or doesn't close too soft or it doesn't catch the latch. To do that, there's 2 screws, and you can, it's a little hard to twist with your finger, but you can do it, and that's how you adjust them to make it close harder or softer. So that's it guys. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up, hit that bell for notifications on all my future videos, subscribe to my channel, drop a comment in the comment section below, and we'll see you on the next job.